I am the 28th governor, the last governor. Like all the other governors and their families, my wife, my children and myself will take Hong Kong home in our hearts. You have been kind to us. You have made us welcome. It has been the greatest honor and privilege of my life to share your home for 5 years and to have some responsibility for your future.
無負一起走，不怕撐多久，同決心堅守，管理我所有。若世界亂戰令我們戰鬥，患難絕處中總有隊友。
They were very worried about the extent to which Hong Kong reflected all those values which they were trying to stamp out. Freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of religion, the rule of law, and all those things which they don't understand but which actually constitute a free society. That came to a head, although it got worse since then, with the national security legislation in 2020, and things have gone downhill ever since.
We may not count her armies, we may not see her king. Her fortress is a faithful heart. Her pride is suffering. And soul by soul and silently, her shining bounds increase. And her ways are ways of gentleness, and all her paths are peace.
In 2047, Hong Kong still has the autonomy that it was promised in the Joint Declaration in 1984-85, that it still has the rule of law, that it still has an independent judiciary, that it still has journalists who can write freely about what's happening, not least as a result preventing the development of corruption in Hong Kong. Whether it will be delivered will of course be a test for China, and I think this is one reason why the rest of the world should watch what happens in Hong Kong very carefully.
I, Christopher Francis Patten, swear that I will well and truly serve.
How are you?
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Very good to see you.
In the office of Governor of Hong Kong.
Hello.
So help me God. So help me God. Help me God. Now, here is an agreement that we've reached with the Chinese side, which gives Hong Kong continuity in its legal system and gives it a court of final appeal after 1997, whose jurisdiction would be decided by this Legislative Council. But just remember what the demonstrations in 2019 were about. They were against an extradition treaty which would have enabled Hong Kong to send anybody it didn't like up to China to be tried. And when the people objected to that, people like Regina Ip said, well, it will mean that from now on China doesn't have to abduct people from Hong Kong. 2 million people were on the streets. 2 million people, so and they weren't dealt with by discussion. They were dealt with tear gas,
plastic bullet rounds and tasers.
I'm delighted to have the privilege to serve as the 28th Governor of Hong Kong.
呢一票唔知有咩威力，不過試咗先咯。
But I think that everyone in Hong Kong and out of Hong Kong will have to take account of what the voice of Hong Kong has said today. Nobody is going to pretend that this was other than a fair and open election contest. You look at the figures for voting, you look at the figures in the functional constituencies as well as the geographical constituencies. This has been a fair system, and I'm sure that everyone in Hong Kong and well beyond will have to take account of what the people of Hong Kong have said this Sunday in September.
有啲地方保留固步自封嘅風格，有啲地方從開放態度一齊共同進步。好人好夢，晚安。